So right now I'd like to talk to you about a gridding technique called the country road thing. Well, it's not really called the country road thing. I just like to call it that because if we look at a country road, we're likely to see something that will be of help to us in understanding it. So let's get started. So let's pretend that we're out in the country and you can see the nice green horizon line, and we have our vanishing point off to the left here. And what we see on the bottom right of the frame here is a post. One of the posts that a farmer might plant into the ground in order to hang wire to keep his cattle from wandering out onto the road. So we know that if this is one post, there must be many posts to hold the wire going back to the vanishing point. But the question for us is, where would that next post be? Well, how far that next post is down the road is really up to us. We can place the first two posts wherever we want. But once we've placed the first two posts, everything else is not random. Let's take a look. So we've got this first post, and we know that the second post has to be smaller if it's further away from this post. So let's figure out where and how the next post gets placed. All right, the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and draw a couple of guidelines here in order to allow me to draw the next post. Now I'm going to draw some orthogonals here to the best of my abilities. Okay, it's really hard to draw on an iPad, so I'm going to cheat and just shorten that line right there. So that's the bottom guideline for the bottom of my post, and it should be more accurate than this, obviously. And now I need another line from the vanishing point to the top of my post. Okay, that was a little bit better. So now we have the top and the bottom guideline. Now, having done that, we now know where the next post is going to start and where it's going to stop. But like I said, the second post, wherever we want to place it, it's okay. So I'm going to take this next post and I'm going to place it right there. Once again, where I've decided to put post number 1 and post number 2, really up to me, totally random. But at this point, nothing else is random. So the next thing we need to do is we need to find where the center point is between these. And just like when you draw an X on the paper, in order to find the center point of the paper, if we draw an X on here, very, very lightly, we've now located dead center. Okay? Now, a good idea, once you've found the center, is to get rid of these lines because you really don't want to get confused about what you're looking at. Okay, so there's my center point. Now that I know that that's the center, I'm going to draw a line, once again, an orthogonal, right down the middle. And it's really hugely important that this line wind up totally in the middle of this top and bottom line. Okay, now what? Well, now we figure out where the third post is. Okay, so this is post number 1, and this is post number 2. Let's figure out where number 3 is. In order to find out where post number 3 is, we're going to go from the top of post number 1 through the point at which post number 2 is bisected by that center line, and we're going to travel down from post number 1's top through the middle of post number 2's middle, and wherever it hits that bottom line, guess what? That's where our next post will go. So take a look and you'll see that number 1's top, number 2's center determines number 3's bottom. And you see that the lines, the orange lines, are in fact getting closer together. Now, how do we determine where post number 4 is going to be? Can you figure that out? Pause the video right now and see if you can figure out where post number 4 would go. In order to find out where post number 4 is, we need to look at post number 2. Just like we went from the top of 1 through the middle of 2 to get to 3, now we're going to go from the top of 2 to the middle of 3, and that will determine post 4. Top, middle, bottom. And that's where post number 4 will go. So now we know post number 4 goes there. Now where is post number 5 going to go? Can we figure out where post 5 is? If you'd like to do that, pause the video now. In order to find post number 5, we're going to go from the top of post 3 to the middle of post 4, and wherever we hit that bottom line, that's where post 5 is going to go. And I'm going to keep going now to show you how this goes. Once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite easy. And you can see that my posts are in fact getting shorter and closer together. This should be used for sidewalk lines, for lockers in a hallway, for tiles on a ceiling, for tiles on a floor, or anything else that you'd like to use this for when you have something which is the same item repeated over and over and over again, going back toward the vanishing point. You're better off using X plus diamond for finite areas, however. Over here, I could add another post or not add another post. It wouldn't make any difference. But if we're talking about dividing something like a wall, and you have the wall already drawn, you probably want to use X plus diamond, which will divide up the wall evenly instead of leaving an awkward space at the end. Hope you've enjoyed learning the country road thing. Bye.